Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States. He is regarded as one of America's greatest heroes for his role as a savior of the Union and emancipator of slaves. He is the perfect example of a person rising from humble beginnings and achieving the highest office in the land. Lincoln is considered as America's greatest president by historians as well as every citizen alike. According to historians Michael Burlingame, no president in American history ever faced a greater crisis, and no president ever accomplished as much. Abraham was born in a single-room cabin situated in Hardin County, Kentucky, to Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Lincoln. Abraham was still young when his father lost fortune, and ultimately they had to move to Perry County, Indiana, where the family struggled to make both ends meet. At the age of 9, his mother died. A year after, his father married Sarah Johnston, a Kentucky widow with 3 children of her own, but she was an affectionate woman with whom Lincoln quickly bonded. Though both his parents were illiterate, yet his stepmother Sarah encouraged him to read. Hence, Abraham had very little formal education, and most of his learning was the result of self-education from borrowed books. His family later moved to Illinois, where he would set out on his own. As a young man, he worked as postmaster, shopkeeper, woodcutter, etc. over a period of time. This was the time when he polished his skills in public dealings. He started his political career and won a seat in the Illinois legislature at the age of 25. He wanted to become a lawyer, and he taught himself the law by reading William Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England, and he is admitted to bar in 1837. In 1845, Lincoln won the election of U.S. Congress and served as a congressman for 1 term. Later, he ran for the U.S. Senate but could not win. Yet he acquired a national recognition for his debate against slavery. In 1860, Lincoln ran for the President of the United States as a member of the Republican Party. His party was against slavery and secession. Lincoln won the presidential election, but the southern state did not want Lincoln to be president. The southern states started to secede and form a country named Confederacy before Lincoln took the oath of office. Lincoln was determined to maintain the union of the states. The Civil War broke out on April 12, 1861 at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. In the effort to win the war, Lincoln assumed more power than any president before him, declaring martial law and suspending legal rights. In January 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation that freed all slaves in areas still under Confederate control. It certainly played a vital role to change the tide of war, as there were many slaves in the rank of Confederate Army. Gettysburg Address is one of the greatest speeches of American history that was delivered by Lincoln on November 19, 1863 at the site of Battle of Gettysburg, a decisive Union victory that had taken place earlier in the year. In 1864, Lincoln re-elected as President of the United States. On 9 April 1865, the Civil War ended, where the General of Confederate Robert Edward Lee surrendered. The Civil War lasted for more than 4 years and claimed the lives of 6 lakh Americans. Less than a week later, John Wilkes, a strong supporter of the Confederacy, assassinated Lincoln at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., and he died the next morning. Lincoln's philosophy can be best summed up in the second inaugural address: with malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right. Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with the nation.